Good evening, or if you're watching this as a video, good morning, good night, good, I don't know, good, just good. And thank you for joining us. And welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. So I'm going to talk about this coming solar eclipse. It's happening on Saturday. Oh gosh, I didn't write the time down. I think it's around 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to talk about that. 5 things that we should know and we should be doing for this eclipse season. And then I'll talk about a couple of practices that we can do. And so I'm just going to take a second or two to say hi to people and I'll let the live people get their notifications and get here. But I'm going to start in just a second. So hello, Michael and Teresa and MT and Yvonne and Susan and Suzette. Welcome. And Sarah, I think I saw she's in. Yep, absolutely. You made it early a second time. Woohoo, good job. Yeah, greetings from New Hampshire. Yeah, here in the Catskills, we had a few snow flurries today, so winter's not giving up without a fight. Hi, Linda. Um, but it wasn't that cold. It was like in the low 40s, but we were still having snow flurries. So go up a loft a little bit. It was very cold, obviously. All right, so let's dive right in. So basically, what's happening is a lot's happening, and Sharita Starr and myself did a live event last night. It was actually a class. It wasn't free. It was on Zoom. And yeah, if you guys want, I'll leave in the comments like how to request a copy of that. It's a 2-hour event. I did a transmission to prepare for these energies, and then she talked a lot about the astrology and numerology. So anyway, for those of you that don't know, Sharita is our amazing astrologer and numerologist that's done a few events with us here, and and we did this event live together. It's $33, but Sharita has 2 cats also, Hocus and Pocus. So if you buy the recording of the Zoom event, you'll be helping to feed 2 cats. So, anyways, just figured I'd mention that. All right. So, hi from Milford, PA. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania now. Cool. All right. Let's dive right in. Partial solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Taurus, and the partial eclipse will only be visible in the very southern part of the world. The eclipse itself is about 12 degrees, it's 10 degrees in Taurus, which puts it about 12 degrees off of the north node. So that's why it's not a total eclipse and why it's only in the southern hemisphere, because it's really the eclipse effect is really just brushing the planet, but it's still an eclipse. And when things activate the southern part of the planet, that's kind of almost like the floor, or like the base of the earth. So it's really affecting the foundations, especially because the moon is in Taurus and it's in 10 degrees Taurus. 10 degrees is the wheel of fortune in Chaldean numerology, and it's key 10 in the tarot, which is the wheel of fortune. So we can expect some changing fortunes because it's a security earth sign. We can expect some financial ups and downs, some issues about our own personal security as well as global security are likely to come up. Now, the effects of eclipse carry several months ahead, but a solar eclipse, excuse me, is a powerful new moon. It's basically having the sun and the moon so close together that they kind of are focusing their energy more than just a regular new moon. So that's why the eclipses are more powerful. And like I said, 10 degrees is about changes of fortune, changes of energy, turning of the wheel. And this is also leading into the Beltane season or the May Day season. So that's, April 30th to May 1st. The eclipse is on April the 30th. Um, Venus and Jupiter are going to be, close to conjunct anyway. And Mercury's moving into Gemini. And the moon and Saturn are trining. Saturn is I think in Pisces, or is it in Aquarius? I might have that wrong. That last part I might have wrong. But anyways, that's basically a few of the technicalities of this. Now, all eclipses, let me see, where do I have my notes? All eclipses, I mean, all new moons are about new beginnings. A new cycle is beginning. So every time we have a new moon, it's a good time to start a new cycle. Um, Now, what's happening is that the moon is going to approach the conjunction with Uranus, which I believe is in Taurus. Well, it would have to be. So a lot, Uranus tends to shake things up. It tends to be very active energy, sometimes revolutionary. And I wrote down in my notes what aspects of your material life needs to change. Where can you grow? The wheel of fortune is turning. So these are things to kind of keep in mind. Now, I'm taking things like numerology and astrology into account, but I'm also getting information through spirit. And I wanted to jump right into five things, five important things to know about this particular eclipse. And number one is to plant new seeds. Like I said, the new moon is in Taurus. We're coming into Beltane. For those that don't know, Beltane is a Celtic holiday and it honors fertility. It's May 1st, so it's May Day, or right around May 1st. And it's kind of acknowledging things are starting to turn green. There's a lot of pollen in the air. It's a very fertile time of the year. So all new moons are good for planting new seeds and new beginnings. The Taurus new moon is especially good because it's that earth sign. Taurus is the soil. It's Beltane, which is again fertility and growth and nurturance and stuff like that. And it's an eclipse, and eclipses make the new moon energy more powerful. So this is the time to identify. And in fact, we still have a couple of days. Today's what, the 27th, or yeah, I think it's the 27th. So we still have a couple of days. So up until Saturday, maybe think about really what isn't working in your life anymore. Like think about that before the eclipse. Like what isn't working? What can you change? What new beginnings can you install into your life? Instill, maybe a better word. And keep in mind that our minds are subconscious, and part of the ego's function also is for survival. So we tend to not really like change, and we tend to avoid change. It's part of just our survival makeup. But in these energies, we really have to embrace change. Everything's changing. So plant new seeds. That's the first important thing. Do something on a physical level, because this is a earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign. So do your physical work as well as your planning work. Your Taurus energy has a lot of determination. So this new moon is going to give you, maybe it can turn into stubbornness also, but it's going to give you a lot of inner strength and determination. And when we hit May, which happens the day after the eclipse, so remember, this solar eclipse is good for this whole lunar cycle, and then it's going to have an effect beyond that. We come into the numerology of 11 with the month of May. It's an 11 universal month. And 11, besides being very spiritual and about ascension, it's also about overcoming resistances, overcoming challenges. In the Chaldean system, it is I'll never remember this, the lined muzzle and clenched fist. And it's the strength card in the tarot. Even though strength is key 8, not key 11, the old tarot, the strength card was key 11. They switched that in the justice card. So these are just a few references to validate the point that in this 11 month, this is really about overcoming things that have been getting in your way, things that have been blocking you, emotional obstruction, mental obstruction, social obstruction. So this is the time, this lunar cycle, where your willpower is going to be very high. So if there's a habit you need to end, this is a good month to do it. If you're a smoker, whatever it is, overeater, you're going to find an extra dose of will and strength to overcome things that have been challenging or less than healthy or difficult in your life. So plant new seeds. Number 2 is look into the foundation and the roots in your life. Taurus rules the earth, the soil. Um, it's a security oriented sign. So you want to learn to change the foundation. And the secret of security is that we live in a temporary environment. The physical world is temporary. You cannot find security in a reality that's inherently unstable. So you must look to spirit, to source, or to God to find security, because that's the one thing that will last forever. And when you're able to do that, you create a semblance of security in your physical life also. I know it sounds a bit like a contradiction, but that's really how it works. So you want to look into that. Very security oriented. Okay, I wrote this down. The one thing that lasts forever. So practice working with the heart. Sooner or later is going to bring that up, right? Right, Susan and everybody else that's here. Sooner or later is going to bring up the heart. It's Venus ruled. Taurus. It had a very green energy. Green is the heart chakra. It's very nurturing, very loving. Heart brain coherence is such a powerful practice that I tout that just about every time I get on YouTube, because it's so powerful. I want you guys to start doing it. I really feel like this is going to be the revolutionary practice of the 2020s, based on ancient compassion teachings from like the Buddha and Jesus, but it's been modernized, thanks to things that science are discovering about the physiology of the heart and the energetic, the electromagneticness, and how holding gratitude and compassion in your heart, how that brings your brain into coherence, and how that connects you more with spirit, and how that opens your intuition, your creativity, helps to enhance your immune system, and helps you with longevity also. All these things can happen with that. So look into the foundations and roots in your life. What in your foundation needs to be changed or altered? So that's number 2. Plant new seeds, look into the foundation. Third important thing to know is self-nurturance. Taurus is a very nurturing energy, very nurturing sign. Um, um, and this is really about staying on track with your personal growth. Now, there's certain astrological things. Again, Sharita talked a lot about that in the event we did last night. Um, a lot that can really get us off track, basically, off of our spiritual track, off of our track of life. So we really want to focus on our personal growth right now, and starting with the heart, and really nurturing yourself, taking good care of yourself. A lot of you take very good care of others. So you want to turn that energy around and take really, really good care of yourself. So the number 4 on the list was geoclimate changes. Now, of course, that's an ongoing issue. But we have eclipses. Eclipses focus energy. There's these are 2 planets that are virtually lining up. Again, they're even though they're conjunct, it's still 12 degrees off the ecliptic when the or off of the north node, I guess. When the actual eclipse is happening. So that's why it's just partial in the very base of the planet, from a mathematical perspective, anyways. But it's still focusing all the energy in one area like a laser beam. And what that does is it affects, it creates a greater gravitational magnetic flux that affects the integrity of the earth, the bedrock, and everything. So as a result, over the next couple of months, we're probably going to see another uptick in things like earthquakes and volcanoes and stuff like that. We've had that, in response to the last eclipse season. Things have been slightly more stable in that area, but we're likely to see a lot of that, a lot with the climate, a lot with weather extremes. I'm seeing fire. I know there's already forest fires and brush fires going rampant. So understand and have a plan, in case you're affected by severe weather, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not even really mentioning much about food shortages and supply shortages. That's been happening. We've been talking about that for a while. We're likely to hear a little bit more about that because again, this is hitting the security, part of life. But it's good to prepare anyway. So where's number 5? Turn thoughts into action. That's number 5. Now we have a Mercury retrograde, beginning on the 10th. So you may want to take action before the Mercury retrograde, but this is really about for a couple of reasons. We've had astrology. I think Mercury went into Gemini recently, or is about to go into Gemini. Um, but anyways, if you have ideas, this is the time to start to put it into action. Now, granted, we are coming up to a Mercury retrograde. We have to take that into account. Mercury retrogrades are best spent by the prefix re, not necessarily by moving forward, but by stepping back and looking into things. But still, this is what Spirit was saying when I was asking for information about tonight. They said, turn thoughts into action. So the idea is, if you have ideas and plans, start to create action around that. Do a few things now, maybe, again, during the retrograde itself, maybe back off a little bit and then pick up again in June. So those are the 5 things that are important. Now, some other issues is that again, Taurus, security, money, so again, we're likely to see these financial issues, stock market crashes, inflation, all that stuff is likely to be alive and well, and we're probably going to get hit around mid-May by another financial surprise. So hang in there with that. I talked about May being a universal 11 month already a little bit. Good for overcoming challenges. Be decisive. Uh, Work through the resistance to change. That's part of turning thoughts into action. And in fact, I'm going to kind of modify that because that's very much akin to the whole retrograde, the whole, Pluto stationing also, Mercury's about to station. Um, so you work through resistance to change. And if you've been having a lot of thoughts and it's been hard to translate that into action, it's good to step back into your heart, back into your spirit, and ask why. Or it's a good, especially as Mercury goes retrograde, it's going to be excellent for doing your shadow work, doing subconscious reprogramming and all that. So this is going to be a good time and a good energy for that. Um, so we want to work through any resistance to change. That is a keynote of this particular eclipse, and then it's followed by a lunar eclipse. That's that the moon's going to be much closer to the south node, so that's going to be more. I mean, I think that's going to translate to a total eclipse. I don't have the the specifics on that, but it's going to be at what degrees is that? 27 degrees, I think. We just talked about this last night. I think it's, or is it 25 degrees? Well, whatever it is. So anyway, I wanted to talk about some practices you can do. I wrote 6 down. Some of them are repeats. 29th of April. So right before. Okay, thank you for that, Sharita. I'm glad that you're on. Turn sound on to hear all. Have to listen back in the beginning. Yes. You must listen back in the beginning, Sharita. Absolutely. Um, Very good. Um, so number 1 is do a ceremony. This is Beltane season for people that practice Wicca or neo-paganism. And it's not just limited to that. I mean, I think that there's other religious celebrations, but it's all about like planting your seeds. It's all about growth. It's all about nurturance. It's a very kind of sexy energy also because it's that time of year. It's the spring, so people are a little bit hot to trot right now. So really good time to do like a ritual to plant new seeds in your life. And Beltane is a fire ceremony, so at least have a candle. If you can't have an open bonfire, at least have a candle. So, think of, maybe for Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere around then, even if it's like your own ceremony, your own prayers, make up a little ceremony and burn a candle and set your intentions. Firstly, you may set your intentions, what I want to release, in the dark moon energy that we're in now or coming into, and then what I want to bring into my life in the new moon. So do a little ceremony, plant some new seeds. Number two is work with nature, get out in nature. This has been a theme for a while, but it becomes doubly true when we're talking about an earth sign and an eclipse and everything. And Taurus is the I guess it's the first earth sign of the year, right? Because well, the second, because Capricorn is the first earth sign of the year. But but in any event, so not just to enjoy nature, but work with nature. That's what they were saying. Working with nature could be meditating in nature, going out and consciously feeling the energy of the trees or the energy of the wind, working with the elements to clear or to manifest things. It's a really good manifestation moon because it is the earth sign. So, work with nature and be barefoot also. Do some earthing and you can inhale the energy of the earth through your feet and into your body and exhale and download any unwanted energy. So that brings me to number three, that's grounding and centering. Do a lot of grounding, a lot of centering. We need to be solid because there are powers in this world that want to get us completely ungrounded, completely in fear, and by being not grounded, in other words, severing our roots with Mother Earth, leaves us vulnerable, much more vulnerable to programming, much more vulnerable to disease and illness and stuff like that. And it's much easier to get into fear and panic when we don't feel our connection, when we don't feel the earth, because that's a very nurturing energy for us. When we feel the earth, we feel solid, we feel grounded, we feel centered, we feel powerful. When we don't feel that, we feel vulnerable. And then those powers that want to control and manipulate everything will swoop on in and get you completely off your game so that you will either comply with whatever they want you to comply with, or that you will give up your power, your rights, your freedoms, or whatever it is. Basically, there's a lot of control through fear and a lot of control through shaming. Get grounded, do grounding practices every day. That's how you're going to withstand a lot of the pressures that are being leveled on us by society before they want to create changes in the structure of society that people that are interested in their spiritual growth, their sovereignty and freedom are not going to like. So that's number three. Number four is really presence and meditation. That's good for every single day of the year, 365 days of the year, except leap year, then it's 366 days of the year. Practice presence, but really do it to the point where you're in meditation and you become so present that you're not your body, that you're not your name, you're not your job, you're not your clothes, none of that stuff, your energy and spirit. And when you're able to do that, when you can get that present, that's when you open up to the quantum field. Now, if you add heart expansion or heart brain coherence to that, that's when you can connect on that level and create your reality from that level that created everything. So practice your presence, practice your gratitude. That's part of heart brain coherence. And as the saying goes, can you be grateful for an outcome that you desire but is not physically real yet? And when you can be truly grateful and practice that every day, that's when your subconscious believes that it's real, and it works with spirit, it works with your higher self to create that in your life. Oh, and that was number five, work with the heart. So number six is journaling and writing. We're coming into a lot of Gemini energy. Mercury's going to go into Gemini. It's going to go retrograde. It's going to go back into Taurus. It's going to go back into Gemini. It's going to do all this crazy stuff, I want to say. And ton of Yes, thank you. Right. So, I think before you came on, Sharita, we talked about that. So, like I said, I'm going to leave I'll leave an email, or actually I can leave the web address when this becomes a video. So journaling and writing, write things down. This is a good time for it. If you don't have a dream journal or spiritual journal or whatever, this is a good thing to do. The pen is mightier than the sword. That's absolutely true. Power of the written word, power of the spoken word. This is the time to really get articulate, really get coherent with who you are, what your values are, what you want in your life, what you want in the world. And writing can anchor that in. Because for when we write, we take energy, which is our thoughts, and create matter, something tangible, is the written letters and the words. So it's a manifestation tool. Because what do we do when we do manifestation through law of attraction? We work with energy to create something physical. So when you write, you work with energy, ideas, and create something physical, words on paper. So write down even before the 30th, when you do your little ceremony, what you want to create in your life. And in fact, worded in the way, I'm so happy and grateful that I have the dream job I wanted for so long, that I have the dream partner, that I have my soul and spirit intact, and I'm a healthy, balanced, whole human being here to help assist with the changes on the planet, here to help assist other people to grow, here to help further my own growth. These are things to affirm that in the present. And and that's basically what I have for you on this time. Now, one little announcement is our amazing editor and talented healer is ill right now, so it's probably close to a 0% chance that we're going to have an upload tomorrow. We usually do our uploads on Thursday. That's probably not going to happen tomorrow. It will happen eventually. Because I have a really good video. Actually, I have two videos that are done that I think you're going to like a lot, but it's probably not going to happen tomorrow. Um, Other than that, Saturday, although that may get postponed too. Actually, Saturday's tentative with Heather and I doing a new moon on Zoom. That's free, and if Heather's well enough, by Saturday, we'll be doing that. If not, we may do it next week, even though it'll be a little bit after the new moon. And that's basically it. So what else are we saying? Step away from the collective sword and words. Yes, yes, another lexigram they are using. Absolutely. So stay away from their swords. Yes, our word is our wand. Thank you for that. Um, um, um what book is that? The Four Agreements. Well, that's other books, but the Four Agreements, they talk a lot about that. Yes, our word is our wand. Sending heal. Yeah, everybody send some healing to Heather. She's in a bad way right now. Support and hit like. Thank you for reminding me. So if you like what we're doing here, hit the like button, and then perhaps YouTube will share that with more people. The YouTube algorithm's kind of a slippery, kind of a weird entity. So you never know what to expect from them. But anyway, that's what I have for you guys tonight. So thank you for tuning in. I wanted to keep today relatively short. I think we stayed at least under a half hour. So for me, that's kind of short. I admittingly do like to talk, so I'm going to cut myself off. And again, thank you guys for being here. And remember, as community, we're strong. Stay in your heart, stay in your power, stay grounded, stay rooted, and then stay in your heart. Your heart's the root chakra of your higher self. So stay in your heart and stay grounded. And that's how you're going to stay in the eye of the storm and how you're going to be powerful. This is a powerful eclipse season coming up, but it, like anything else, it can be very positive or it can be very challenging. So the idea is we want to flow with the challenge because that's how we learn, but stay in that positive mindset. So we stay in our heart, we stay grounded, we're strong, and we're able to withstand a lot of the pressures, because chances are it's gonna get more difficult before it gets easier again. There's more plans, more agendas. June and July is very heavily aspected for change and challenge and stuff like that. But one thing at a time. So anyway, thanks again, everybody. I love you. We'll see you next time.